Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at our part 6. I've just completed our getters and setters, but like I promised that we're going to be seeing how to generate these getters and setters automatically in our IDE like IntelliJ. You can also search for Eclipse, but this is IntelliJ, using IntelliJ right now, so I'm going to be showing you how to generate them automatically without typing them manually, which is kind of a lengthy process. So after typing them, I have showed you how we generate them manually. So now let's delete them and then regenerate them automatically using our IntelliJ. So backspace. Okay, so they are all gone, and you first press the cursor, or you put the cursor where you want to start while generating all this. So now if you're in your Mac, you can press Command and N. If you're on Windows, you can try to search. Windows has, I think, Control, something like Control Alt and N, but you try to search online, you will see it's Command, but on Mac it's Command and N. So once you press Command and N on Mac, you will see that you have a drop down that comes here, and we have generate constructor, getters and setters, then getters only, setters only, then getters and setters. So we can first do constructors. First of all, we're going to start with an empty constructor. So if you want to start with an empty constructor, you have to choose how many constructors you want, or how many fields you want into the constructor. But first we're starting with an empty constructor, so we're going to be checking out this to make sure that we don't have any field checked, meaning that there's no field checked here. So the constructor that we are going to create, if we click OK, would be an empty one. So click OK. You can see now the constructor we have, it's an empty constructor. Now go ahead and press the cursor again. Now we're going to the other constructor where we have all the fields defined. Okay, so now again press on Command N. You press on Command hold, then press on letter N. So this time we want a constructor still, but one that has all these fields. So I'm going to be selecting all of these. You can press on Command and select all of them and press OK. So this time you will have yes, you can see here we have this constructor being done automatically, and it has all the fields, defines all the fields. So after this, we are going to descend to the getters and setters. Please still follow the same path, Command N, and then this time we want our getters and setters, not getters only, not setters only. We want getters and setters for all. Now we want getters and setters for all, so you have to hold Control down or Command down and select all, then click on K, and all the constructor, all the getters and setters for all these fields have been auto generated. So basically that's how we auto generate getters and setters as fast as possible in IntelliJ and in Java. So remember, we're done with our data model for the user. For the user. So now let's go ahead and create repositories for both the shop item and the user. So under the domain, in our project structure, we press the repositories under the domains, but in its own of course in their own package. So we're going to be creating a new package under the domain. You can see this package is under the domain, and this package is we're going to call it a repositories. Repositories are kind of packages that are used to keep files that we use to interact with the database. Where we find the get find, where this is all the clauses or the methods that help us to interact with the database, pushing data in database, and filtering data out of the database, requesting data from the database. So now you have repositories. That's it. Press enter, and you have a package called repositories under the domains. Now each of these domains must have its own repository. So let's first create the user repository. It's a class capital letter, camel case, user repository. Yeah, user repository. That's it. Press enter and you can see it's creating. So I'm going to show you how these repositories what's inside the repository. So user repository is done. Now let's create the shop item repository. Right click, new, still Java class, and then say shop item repository. Okay, so that one is also done. And now let me show you what's included in the repository, at least one of the repositories, then we go ahead slowly. Now what we have here in the repository, first of all, the repository will be referenced or called by the service class. So if you call anything in Java quarkus, you have to annotate it with the application scope. Yeah, you can see it in the list. Annotate it with the application scope, just like we've done, and you can see that an import from Jakarta Enterprise Context application scope has been automatically imported. So after that, we are going to implement a package called or a class called panache. Should be capital letters. Implement panache repository. And here it is as number one. Click on it and then we shall see which repository, panache repository, and you have to go ahead and define which repository you're going for, which class of the models are you going to create the repository for. So this time we're creating the repository for this repository is for the shop item domain. So go ahead and reference it as shop item here. Okay, that's it, shop item. But as you can see, it's in red, or it's bringing an error, and when you click it, it says you have to import the shop item in this class, in this repository, in order to use it. So let's go ahead and import this. You can just click here to import it automatically. Or you on Mac, if you're on Mac, you just click Alt and enter and it will auto import it automatically. Now you can see the error is gone. So this is how we design, this is how we reconstruct our repository. So inside here we're gonna be starting methods and classes, methods that are specifically designed to query the database and get data to the database. So we can also add something. You can also do the same for the user repository. Remember, as we said, it implements panache repository here, and then you define for which domain are you referring to, which is the user. Okay, now here comes an error. We have to import the user from where it is, import the user from domain, so you have an import from user. So that's it for repositories. So in this recap, we've seen how to first of all auto generate the getters and setters, and then see how we create shop and user repositories under the repositories, of which the repository package is also under the domain. So that said, I'll see you in the next tutorial.